Hello, listening audience, and welcome back to Toonkind at 12 frames per second. My name is Whirlwind Gale, otherwise known as Gale or Whirlwind, or call me whatever you want. And I am joined here today by my beloved bestie. Uh, Beloved bestie, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm RJ.
And we are here to inflict people on each other, as is the custom here in where this game is taking place, the Aberration Investigator server.
Hell yeah.
Um, I'm gonna say it's like a late-ish afternoon in Villestown. Like the sun has definitely gone past the halfway point in the sky, but I don't know if it's quite sunset yet. Um, it's a late-ish afternoon. Kind of the lazy hours of the day. People are heading home from work, from jobs, from schools, all that happy horse shit. You know, having wrapped up the day's mundane slice of life plots, how's Current doing?
Um, Current sure is doing. A lot of shit's been happening and they've not been paying attention to any of it. They've kind of just been wandering around with this, like, dumbass smile on their face. Like they're an idiot, because they are. Uh, but they've been kind of considering heading back to their homeland. But they haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And they're not quite sure why, but they haven't done it yet, and that's how it's been when it do. So they've just kind of been hanging around Billstown,
mm-hmm. As you do.
as you do.
As you do when you are just vibing. Um, alright. And given how we have decided to do this, roll me, I guess, a perception?
Mm-hmm. What did I
I
realize?
will roll one to contest.
That's good.
I got a 12.
I got a 23.
Goddamn.
I mean, with caster.
Okay. So I got a 12, you got a 23. That's almost double my number. Congratulations. Um, and so I think the way I'm going to play that is um, Current, you are walking to wherever you're going to go, and you catch sight of someone who's kind of on a collision course with you, uh, who doesn't seem to notice this, partially because they are carrying a stack of books that kind of is tall enough to block their vision.
Well, I think in tried and true better collide with someone fashion, Current goes, oop, and steps to the side, and then goes, it's a little bit dangerous being carrying that many books around.
Um, and I'm just going to, let's see. What do you roll to avoid being startled?
Whiz save, int save, cost save, one of the mental saves. Would be my guess.
That's a 10.
Oh, that's a startle.
That's a 3 on the dice plus 7. That's a 10. Um
That's not good, homie.
so yeah, you dodge this guy, but then you start talking at him, and he makes a very undignified sort of squawk and very nearly drops everything he's holding. and there's just a very sudden, oh, shit! And a scramble to catch everything before it falls. And that's a nat 20 on the dex check for that.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to startle you.
It's, it's alright, I guess. Sorry, did I run into you?
No, no, it's alright. I stepped out the way.
Right. Cool. Sorry about that. I should really put these away, probably. He says, just standing there, probably like awkwardly. You know that thing when someone nearly drops something and they wind up holding part of the stack they were holding up with their foot?
Mm-hmm.
He's just standing there balancing these books on his hands and on one foot, and he's just like, 1 second. And coasting off that nat 20, he's just going to slide those all into Hammerspace.
Oh, you're a toon! It does take them several seconds for them to realize.
Uh, what? Oh, yes. Right. Yeah, that is a thing that I am. And you are. He, like, looks them over. Not?
No.
Fair enough. Awkward silence.
You going somewhere particular with those books?
Huh?
You going somewhere particular with those books?
Home.
Ah.
I just I just stopped by the library to trade out one set for another. Working on a project.
You read all of those? Or would it be you read all of those?
uh read, read, has read, will read. Words are dumb. Point is, yes. He kind of scratches at the back of his neck and just I well, trying to teach yourself quantum physics and teleportation magic off the cuff out of library books is you need a lot of resources.
Blink, blink, blink. This is me desperately trying to remember if fucking druids get any teleportation spells. I don't think they do. I think the closest they get is fucking travel via plants.
Yeah.
Which Current does not know. They are not nearly high enough for that. I don't know any of that. It sounds interesting.
It's it's certainly not the worst way to get a headache.
What's the worst way?
Do you want that list alphabetically or by order of magnitude?
Well, if it's the worst way, then it's the worst way. There wouldn't be a list. Unless there's several things that are equally bad, I suppose. But then they wouldn't be the worst, they'd be one of the worst.
Well, I'd think that, worst is depending on circumstance.
Tips their head, rather like an animal.
Like, something might be the worst on one particular day, but not the worst on a different day because the circumstances are different. Like, on the one hand, one of the worst ways to get a headache is, having to deal with people making very foolish decisions. But at the same time, if you're a people person, then circumstantially, maybe a worse way to get a headache would be, I don't know, a hangover? I've heard those are bad.
They're not fun, but they're not something that a little bit of magic can't fix. Oh, that's right. Toons don't drink alcohol, do you?
Uh, mm? He kind of just shrugs and just, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm allowed to drink.
How old are you?
Twa, uh, 16?
Oh, probably not then. I don't remember the age of majority here is 18 or 21. Granted, if we were out on the seas, it'd be entirely different, but we're not, so. That said, if you wanted to drink, I could probably get you something. It wouldn't be the worst crime I've committed.
I, let's, let's not commit crimes for strangers we just met. You don't even know my name. I don't want you doing anything illegal for me. Thank you. I
What's your
would
name?
prefer if you didn't do anything illegal regardless, but I'm not your dad, so
Your name is I would prefer you didn't do anything illegal regardless, but I'm not your dad, so?
what? No, no, my name's you.
You. Who? Me? But my name's Corin.
No, 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 sweetie. My name is you.
Head tips the other way.
Oh, jeez. All right, we're doing this gag today.
I'm sorry, you, Corin's an idiot.
You just standing here, just like, nope. Okay. I was warned to maybe expect this. Here we fucking are. I'm not you as in you. I'm you as in YUU. That's how my name is spelled. And it is pronounced like the word you, but I do not have your identity. I have not committed identity theft.
I'm gonna roll for this because I could continue this bit, but I want to know if they get it. That's a. Oh god, they got a minus. That's a 12. Is that good enough, or am I continuing the bit?
I mean, he's literally spelling it out for them.
True, but he also said YUU, which sounds like a question. Why me? Because I'm me.
Oh my god.
Minus 1. Whoops. You know what? Fuck it. I think that's good enough. I don't want to have this entire FPS be a single bit. So there's a long moment where you suspects that if Current was a toon, there'd be dot, dot, dot appearing in the air above their head before they go, oh, okay. Well, now, do you want me to get alcohol for you? Because I know your name now.
Still no. Still no. Please don't do anything illegal. Or at the very least, don't do it on my behalf. I don't want to get you in trouble.
I mean, I've been getting in trouble my whole life just for existence, so that's no really big.
That's
not the right place. It's no big, really? There we go.
That's Why would you get in trouble for existing? You don't seem problematic.
I'm a druid. Oh, right! That's not illegal over here. I keep forgetting.
There are places where being a druid is illegal?
Yeah. It's a little bit dumb, but I can kind of see where they're coming from. Wild magic's scary if you don't know how to use it.
I, but isn't that just a thing that people sometimes are?
Yeah,
How do
doesn't
you.
stop them hunting us for it.
How do you. But that's like a whole group of people. How do you
Yeah.
outlaw a whole group of people? That.
Well, I mean, it's not just druids. There are other bits of magic that aren't allowed too. Healing magic, for one.
What the. Why the fuck would you ban healing magic? It's like the main useful thing. If I could bring healing magic back to my home world, I would.
Because if the wild magic gets hold of it, people tend to end up growing third limbs or other miscellaneous body parts that they don't tend to want. And that's not really seen as a good thing, but I think it's the spice of life, quite frankly.
I.
Sometimes that's how it be when it do, you know?
I.
But we're not in Fort Sanan, so you don't need to worry about any of that.
Fort Sanan?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry, had to sneeze.
So good.
I. Wait, I feel like I've heard that name before.
You might have. I know there's some Fort Sananians in Villestown.
He kind of brings one hand up to cover his mouth and squints into the middle distance as he thinks and just. Where have I heard that before?
Have you met a Detective Queen? Detective Quinn Queen?
Yes, but that's not where I heard it, and also I'm starting to get the impression he gets around a lot. Do you know someone named Anemone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, she's where I heard it from.
Good kid.
She tripped
I didn't
over me
realize
at the
she was
park.
from Villestown. She what, huh?
She tripped over me at the park.
Oh. Well,
It's
she
a
should watch where she's going then.
Nah, it's okay. I was it's fine. My cat likes her, so
You have a cat?
I have an on fire cat.
You have an on fire cat?
I do.
That's really cool. I mean, I wouldn't recommend them talking to me because I'm an ocean druid, but still, I guess no. I guess it'd be really hot actually if it's fire. Is it really hot? It'd make it a bit difficult to pet them, I guess.
Depends on how she's feeling. If she's in a lousy mood, she will burn you, but otherwise she's like it's like trying to hold a warm marshmallow.
Gooey and sticky and difficult.
Dot 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 dot. Yes.
Fair enough.
I usually just let her do what she wants. She didn't want to go to the library with me, so she's still at home.
I get that.
She says, and I quote, "You go to that place so often that I might as well have it memorized by now. Tell me when we're going somewhere interesting." And he kind of rolls his eyes and just shrugs and says, "She can be kind of a spoiled brat sometimes." But that's kind of just cats in a nutshell.
So I've heard. The ship's cats used to be nice, but haven't seen them in a while now.
He raises an eyebrow at that and just, so, are you a sailor?
I was. Still am sometimes. But most of the time I'm a druid, and that turns people off.
Okay, again, does druid mean something different here than it did back in the mirror?
In the what?
Where I was before I was here. Um, different world, not my home world. Lots of magic. Back there, druid just meant someone whose magic had to do a lot with nature. That doesn't seem very scary. I mean, they could fuck you up in a lot of ways, but so could a particularly skilled wizard. Actually, so could a particularly unskilled wizard.
But I mean, in Fort Sinan, because of all the wild magic, um, druids tend to don't like pauses, frowns for a second, rethinks that sentence. Tend not to be liked very much because our wild shape and our healing and that other shit. The wild magic goes for things that changes things. Like pauses, trying to. You can really see the gears slowly turning as they try to come up with an example. Like, okay, so you use alter self on someone to give them some claws, except the wild magic takes it, and now they're a beast. Or the you're trying to heal a scrape, and now they've got two arms.
Well, that's less than
People are
ideal.
scared of that. Yeah, people are scared of that. But the wild magic, I don't know. I don't know why they don't just adapt to it. Because it's not that difficult. And it can be scary, but the change isn't. Never mind.
Doesn't sound like it would be too difficult to adapt to. Sounds like the Fae bullshit back in the mirror. Sometimes you would try and cast a spell and you had to make sure there weren't any pixies floating around because they would, they're pranksters, so they'll go and they'll mess with your magic and either amp it to high heaven or twist it into something it's not supposed to be. And next thing you know, you were trying to just make a flower bloom and now you have a tree.
That's what I've been saying.
But as long as pay attention to your surroundings, you can avoid that stuff. And even so, having a spontaneous tree isn't always that bad.
I suppose the scary thing about the world magic is that you can't tell when it's going to happen, when it won't.
Mm.
But I still don't get that.
I mean, I don't know. People tend to be scared of what they can't measure or comprehend, I guess. I've never really got that, but maybe that's just because none of this magic stuff makes sense to me.
Do you think that's why people fear the ocean? Rather than the far more sensible reason of it will fuck your shit up.
That is absolutely why some people fear the ocean. I
Oh!
I personally am terrified of the ocean because um water is heavy and being underneath water means you can be crushed very, very easily.
I mean, yeah, but not until you're pretty far down. Honestly, your bigger concern would be breathing, but that's not really an issue for me. Man, I didn't realize people were afraid of it because they didn't know.
Yeah, no.
Well, why did they just learn then?
Well, because the ocean's a big thing. It's big. It takes a lot of time to learn and know something that big, and even then, it's gonna have secrets that it didn't tell you.
I mean, so does everything else. So,
Yeah, and people don't tend to like that. Nobody likes thinking that they know something and understand something only to find out, nope, surprise, you didn't actually know jack shit.
Did they really not like that?
A lot of people don't. It makes them feel scared and uneasy, like they can't predict what's going to come next, and therefore what comes next could hurt them.
Oh.
Uh, Sorry.
It's alright.
I didn't mean to, I don't know, bring down your mood or anything, but
It's alright.
fear of the unknown sure is a thing, huh? And he kind of fidgets, pulling at the edges of his gloves and just. But, it's not everyone. There's lots of people who they look at what they don't understand and either out of sheer spite or out of love and curiosity, they really want to understand it. And those people want to understand everything. And he kind of laughs and says, that's where you get scientists. Or, I guess, in this world, that would be where you get some kinds of magicians. Huh.
Well, I mean, scientists are a thing.
Are
They
they?
tend to be looking at Magitech, but
I mean, God, this place is so like the mirror and so unlike the mirror. I don't know what to expect.
Current just kind of shrugs. They don't really know what to say to that. They don't know what the mirror is, but
You will just kind of shrug back, just, it is what it is.
I guess if you're expecting consistency, Ironquell's not really the place for it. From what I've seen, this place tends to go up and down like a wave. Or the tide. Wait, no, but tides go in and out. I guess they also go up and down if you're at a single point.
And aren't tides also fairly consistent?
Only sometimes.
That gets an eyebrow raise.
Well, I mean, sure, theoretically, tide's consistent as hell. This planet, the moon, and the waves dance. It's a push and a pull, and where one goes, the other follows. But that's only on the surface. Underneath, there can be any kind of thing that you're not expecting. Riptides or undercurrents. If you're not careful, it'll drag you out. There won't be any way back.
Terrifying, thank you.
Well, that's why you gotta treat with respect. That's honestly the more sensible reason to fear the ocean, because it can fuck you up like that. But I suppose, I guess, if you've got a fear of the ocean because you don't know it, and then you learn that, it would just kind of make you fear it more necessarily, because now you know exactly what it'll do to you. But if you treat it with respect, you at least have a chance. I don't know. I've never really been at fear of drowning. I can breathe underwater.
Yeah, that tends to put a damper on the whole, terror of giant body of water that could kill you. Because it takes away one of the many things that it can use to kill you. I'm sure it's very disappointed in that.
I don't think the ocean cares much. Too busy dancing with the moon.
Sounds like something out of poetry.
It does?
Hmm. That or a romance novel.
I've never read a romance novel. I'm not much for reading. The words tend to dance about on the page for me.
That's fair. I've only ever read them by accident. At one point, I thought I was reading a history textbook, and then, it got to a very gratuitous scene, and it's, oh, that's not a history textbook, that's a romance novel. Okay, we're putting that down. Consequences of not knowing local language.
Yeah, I can see why that'd be an issue.
Luckily, everything around here is in common rather than in Sylvan or Infernal, so.
Oh, I know Sylvan. I don't know Infernal, though. I do know Deep Speech. That's always fun. It tends to scare people when I talk it.
Oh?
Uh, and, uh, Current will say something in Deep Speech, and I'm not gonna try and fucking make that sound with my mouth. But suffice it to say, it is a pants-wettingly terrifying sound.
I think you just listens to this, nods. Yeah, I can see why that would freak some people out.
It's not a written language, it's verbal only. But Sylvan has a written component, and so does Common, and so does Aquan, which is my other language. I know a lot of languages. That's 5.
That's impressive.
It's the one thing I'm good at, actually.
Well, hey.
I mean, aside from water. I'm very good at water.
Well, hey, it's a useful skill to have. If you know enough languages, you can get along with anyone anywhere.
Well, theoretically.
At the very least, you can always ask where, the best place to get a pizza is.
What's a pizza?
I think that's the saddest thing I've ever heard get said. You don't know what a pizza is? Okay, no, we're fixing this.
Huh?
Studies can wait. Come on. I think I know somewhere around here that serves pizza.
Oh, okay.
And you is just going to start guiding Current to somewhere that serves pizza because my boy is from California and admitting you don't know what pizza is to a Californian is blasphemy.
Current is just following along with the fucking like the colon capital D face just full of question marks.
I don't know what an actual pizza restaurant in Billstown is, but we wind up at generic pizza restaurant TM.
Padres Pizzeronia.
Yes. And you will get the two of us a big pizza to share.
Okay, but now I have to ask what toppings.
Um. See, my impulse is to say half with anchovies because, haha, fish. But at the same time, this is you, not me. So he would probably just get cheese, just because that's the most basic topping. Like, your first pizza experience should be something that's guaranteed to be good. And not
True.
everyone likes anchovies. But damn near everyone on the fucking planet likes cheese.
Yeah.
Even
Cheese pizza do be the classic.
even lactose intolerant people like cheese.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
you now have a circle that is cut into triangles that you eat from the inside out.
Oh, I could be so cursed with this.
What are you doing?
Fuck it. Current, when they get served, goes to pick up a slice. And then takes a bite out of the crust.
Oh, that's one way to do it.
Is that not right?
I mean, I don't think there's a wrong way to eat pizza. Well, no, there are definitely wrong ways, but I don't know what that one person who did that was on that made them do that. He just shakes his head and just. But usually you hold it by the outer edge. That way you don't get sauce and cheese and stuff all over your hands. It makes it less of a mess. And he will demonstrate proper pizza eating technique. You kind of eat it inside out.
Okay. Current, pay very close attention to this. Turns their slice around and begins eating it from the inside out and goes, "Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I see why this is better."
Yep. Plus you get all the tasty stuff first, and then you have a breadstick at the end.
Like a baguette?
You guys have those here?
Well, we have them in Fort Sanan. It's just gestures vaguely about the shape of a baguette.
I'm rolling an intelligence check. Because I know that Fort Sinan is a word. Oh my god, that's a nat 20.
Oh, whoa.
I know that Fort Sinan is an anagram. You just blinks and then suddenly cracks up laughing, and you have no idea why.
Current is once again embodying the colon capital D question mark face.
Oh my god. Excuse me. Sorry. Sorry. Just realized something funny. Yeah, it's kind of like a baguette, but smaller, and usually it has flavorings on it, like garlic or leftover cheese, or sometimes sauce. But it is still the crust of the pizza that is left behind is still a stick made of bread. Therefore, it is a breadstick.
Makes sense. Chows down on pizza. At one point, takes a slice, folds it in half, tips their head back, and then unhinges their jaw to drop the slice in.
That gets a bit of an impressed stare. Just. Dang. That looks painful.
Takes a moment to finish chewing, swallows, and goes, "It doesn't. I'm about 80% water."
I mean, the average human is about 75% water, and you don't see us unhinging our jaws like snakes, but.
Oh, I mean very literally. And then casts, fucking... casts Creator Destroy Water. And where their shirt had been... Because they've got like they've got like it looks like a suit jacket style thing, but there's a collar that links it at the top in the collar. And the front hangs open, there's no buttons. And you can see in the gap there is suddenly now tits. Tastefully covered, but they're there now.
Just. You know what? Whatever floats your boat.
This FPS is rated teen and up.
This FPS is rated T for titty. We've had existential despair, we've had pizza, and we've had boobs. What more could you want?
Now we just need some gratuitous violence to top it off. Oh my goodness. Current looks askance at the phrase before going, "I don't have enough water to float a boat. This is a very small boat."
You will pause, and then he will grab a napkin and fold it into a little paper boat and hand it to them.
Current fucking raises a hand, pauses, goes up to the salad bar, comes back with an empty bowl, and then casts shape water to put some water into the bowl to float the boat.
Polite applause.
I get to grin.
Tiny boat do be floating. Off on tiny boat adventures.
They suddenly get, like, snap their fingers like they've had an idea, and they get a toothpick, and they tear off a teeny tiny bit of their napkin, wet it a little bit to get it on the toothpick and stay, and then put that into the boat. Little flag.
Another polite smattering of applause.
Another grin. Goes back to eating pizza. If you're not careful, they will polish off this whole thing without you getting any.
I mean, he's already had a piece, and he doesn't really eat much, so he's good.
They're just gonna chow their way through this pizza then.
They are enjoying pizza. He has done his job.
I can't think of anything else to for them to do. This feels like a good place to leave them be.
Honestly, yeah. This
They
feels
have
like a
met.
this feels like a good place to leave it off. They have met, they have enjoyed pizza, and they made a tiny boat together. What more could you ask for?
Yeah. As they go to leave, Current will pick up the boat and hand it over to you.
You will look at the boat and set it on his head, because paper boats can also be paper hats.
That does get a laugh.
And he just smiles back and says, multi utility.
Very nice.
And I believe that's where we end. Yes?
Oh yeah, they go their separate ways. That was good. That was cute.
That was fun!
That went so many places.
That went several directions. Everyone say goodbye to the listeners.
Goodbye, listeners.